Good morning. It's my favorite season. It is now fall, and we will begin our plans that I have been planning for a while. So I'm actually really happy about this. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do this. Things are going well, in my opinion. So let's check the weather for tomorrow and see if things will work according to my plan, which is going to be sunny. And I don't think there's a holiday today. We have until the 3rd for that. And if we check the Harvest Sprite log, which is right here. I got 4 days for each of them left. Now, here is my master unveiling of my plan. Every day, I'm going to expand the crops just slightly just to see what the harvest sprites can do. And we're going to do this differently in a way that makes more sense instead of me going crazy like I have been. So, for instance, I'm going to do this. It's going to be more functional now as a 9x9 type of thing. However, I am not going to cut the bottom one out because I was thinking about doing that, but I don't think it's necessary with my new plan. Because normally someone would want the thing to be like this, and while that's all fine and dandy, you actually end up getting more crops if you do this. Because even though you can't get to the middle one at the end of the season, you can cut this one and then get this one, and you actually end up with one extra crop. And if you have harvest sprites, they can get the extra one for you. However, I do want to be more sufficient or efficient, so that's not going to happen the same way as last time because that was a nightmare. So by the time I get down to the seed store, it'll be time. So I will show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with 4 squares, and then the next day I'll add a band around that, and I'll continue doing that until I cannot do that anymore. Right now the harvest sprite has nothing to water. Oops, well, I didn't need it anyway. So we'll have to check on that. So I'm gonna buy about 30 bags. I probably won't use all the bags, but I will use a lot of the bags. And I think that will do it. I'm going to just add 1 band of seeds in a circle, which does mean, unfortunately, that I will have to get rid of the grass that I planted because it's kind of in my way. So I'm going to have to plant different grass farther away, and I will go into more depth about that soon, but it is for the best interest of everything for me to get rid of the grass and just put it farther away, because there's no need for it to be close to the barn because I don't put the animals outside. I have a couple other changes I'm going to be doing this season to make things more smooth, so I will tell you such things when the time comes. So I'm just waiting for him to get done with his speech, and we're gonna go full on sweet potatoes. It is the best crop for fall. So I'm gonna buy 30 of them, and if I need to, I'll come back. It's not that much money. It's 9,000, and I definitely am in a good spot. And I don't really think money's ever gonna be a concern again at this point. Really, I could just sleep through the rest of the game and I think I'd be fine, but I'm not gonna do that because that does not make for good content. But I do have a high percentage. I really just need to have a kid, get the kid up to 9 hearts, finish building the hothouse, get all the makers, and I'm actually good. But for the sake of everything, I just want to make lots of money still and see how things go from there. Okay, so I was for a while going into the barn, and I just made a weird noise. I was going into the barn and talking to all the animals. I don't think I'm going to be doing that anymore because maybe once in a while, but really I don't need the money anymore, so I don't really need them to have high affection, and it just seems like it's just making everything really slow. I really just don't want to do that every day. Like, it's not fun to do it over and over again like that, so I am going to start with 4 because I'm fairly confident that a harvest sprite could handle 4, but I'm not going to do any more. Then tomorrow I will do this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and see if they can get it done. And then I'll have them harvesting, so eventually they will be in good humor. Now the idea is when they harvest, I'm building radially out this way. So instead of me going straight across, because it makes the distance between the shipping box and the crops far too long. So what I want to do is make sure I'm evenly going down and around, so that the crops are all an equal distance away. This one being the closest, and then this. And that gives a minimum distance. Like the farthest any harvest sprite will have to walk to water a crop is this one all the way up to this one. And when I add another one, the farthest distance will be that one to this one, which is actually significantly larger. After tomorrow, I'm going to slowly add them. I'm not going to add them all at once because that, as this exponentially gets larger, it could quickly overwhelm the harvest sprites. So we're going to chop down these fences, and I'm not going to take down all the grass yet. I just need to take out probably a little bit at a time. I will do it as needed, which really won't be too much for too long. I'm just gonna do like a row like this and get rid of those first, because that will probably have me set for most of the season. I don't really think I'm gonna go farther than this. So I'm gonna go one band and then maybe one more band around, but there's no way I'm doing any more sweet potatoes than that. That is my limit. I refuse to do any more than that. So we're gonna chop all these out, and then I'm gonna hammer them, and then we're gonna just see from there. That's how things are gonna go. I'm not overly worried about it or anything. So I didn't realize it looked like that. I thought they formed better than that, but I guess they do not. How are we doing on animal? Do I have an animal sprite right now? Because I didn't even think about that. Okay, we have a full 7 days with him. So I have to water these, of course. I can't just leave them. So I'm gonna take the honey and maybe apples and sell those. I'd like to give them to the harvest sprite, but it doesn't seem to be... I don't really see any of them running around right now, probably because they don't have any work to do. So, okay, that's the watering can. I was making sure I didn't have a different tool out. So we're just gonna do a full water like this. And we're gonna water all of them, and that'll be it. I'll have to go check on the animals, and then we'll go to bed. I do want to be somewhat more efficient than I've been, because I don't... There we go. I'm going to give it to him because it's good to keep the harvest sprites in good graces. And I'm excited to see this experiment and see how much the harvest sprites can do on their own. I actually was thinking about just doing one harvest sprite and seeing what he can do, but I think I'll do two because I do want to keep them practiced up. But for the sake of everything, I just want to see what we can accomplish with two harvest sprites. They're fairly well trained, and I know this won't work for everybody because the harvest sprites have different skill levels over time. So we'll have to see. Why is this not fully watered? Wait, did he start watering? I'm not even sure. Okay, so he's got everything he needs there. We got the stuff from Zach. All this is not going to be anything. I might even just plant it all as grass. I don't really see a need for anything else at this point. So we're gonna feed all these because I just want to get the day done. I don't want to have to wait till 9 o'clock for the harvest sprite to get in here, because I really don't think I want to have all 7 of them working all the time. That is just too much. That's too much running to the supermarket and gifting, and I got really overwhelmed with that. So as you can tell, I very easily get overwhelmed, and I'd just rather scale it back, because ideally I could have one harvest sprite doing each job, or just having them help me with the harvests. Now I could have them all harvesting at the same time, but I like the idea of alternating the crops, because the way that I'm doing this, there's going to be a band of crops every day, so they're more likely to harvest all of them, which actually means I think in the long term there'll be less waste, because each day is going to have less work. Instead of there being a ton of work one day, then nothing for the rest of the 7 days I have them hired, every single one of the 7 days, at some point, a couple days into the season, at some point, they're going to have something to do every day, and they're never going to be idle. And they'll get more done, because it's more manageable. Small, manageable pieces, which I think is important. Okay, so we're going to run, check on the cows, and see where they're at. I think it doesn't really matter if they're milked or not, because like I said, I don't really need the money at this point. I'm just kind of doing experiments and seeing what I can get done. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to try doing various experiments. I might spend some time fishing or talking to people. There's really no specific rule or guideline for anything I have to do. It doesn't look like they did anything in here, so I think I might milk a little bit, because I don't want to, I don't want to not get anything for the food. So I'll milk them myself. And I know I said I wasn't going to be in here, but I want them to be fed. And I knew by 5 he's not done yet. I am interested. I don't know about anybody else, but as you can see, it's about 5:30, and that's usually when I try to go to bed, barring issues with the animals. I think it'd be cool to see when he starts getting done before 5 or before I end the episode, if this one harvest sprite can ever get everything done before I would normally want to go to bed. Now, I cannot shear sheep. I do not carry the necessary tools for shearing sheep because I never have sheep. This is probably the first time I've had sheep, and usually I sell the sheep and just buy cows. So that is something to think about as well. I will talk to maybe like 1 or 2 sheeps or chickens. I don't know. I should talk to them. It's just daunting. It just takes so long. There's no easy way. Like I can't skip the dialogue. If I could just double tap real quick, then it'd be different, but I cannot. So it seems that everything I need done is done. How did you get out here? Get back in there. I can't have any animals dying on my save file. I'll sell you before you die. Get in there. Alright. That sheep is back where he needs to be. So, let's check this. Do we have any mail? Any mail? We will close at 5 p.m. on the 5th of this month. That's okay. Okay, so it is 6 p.m. and the experimenting of fall has begun. I am excited to see what unfolds here. Good night. Sleep tight. Alright, Potpourri seems to be doing pretty good. I don't know if she likes milk or not. I have some. I know she likes spa-boiled eggs. Good night, everybody, and I'll see you in the morning.